O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN. We pick things up 3 p.m. Eastern Time with the S&Ps negative by 15 points right now, trading 23.49. NASDAQ off by 12 points right now, trading at 23,557. You have the Dow off 318 or 0.7% in the red. It's been a one-way trip since we've been at higher prices. Noon on Friday, 45,397. And you got the Russell off by 19 points right now. Bitcoin off about $4,400 right now, trading at $112,440. You jump over to crude, up $1.11. We're as high as $65. Take a look at that. Not the weekly, the daily. You were making quite a run last week in crude. You touched $62. We're at $64.75 right now. You jump to yields, as I mentioned at the top of the hour there. Just below that level, we're trading right now with a 10-year at about 4.28. The dollar with quite a little bid right now, getting back a lot of Friday's action. 98.49 right now. The dollar rejecting lower price, and you got the gold contract right now negative by $4, trading at 34.14. Excuse me. Some of the movers today, yeah, those furniture companies. You catch a little bid from the lows. Wayfair down about 5.5% right now. You jump over to Restoration Hardware, down about 5% as well. Take a look at the dailies of those. Yeah. See, well off the lows, but boy, how about from where we were on the highs on a company like Restoration Hardware, right? From $450 earlier in the year, all we've done is fill that gap. That's about it. And we're negative by another $12 today. All right. We jump around to some of the tech companies. NASDAQ just wants to get green right now. We're only negative by 6 points. NASDAQ, the strongest of all the indices, flirting with green territory. You got Amazon well off the lows of this morning from 227. You jump over to Apple shares right now. Yeah, look at that roller coaster. Flat, almost to the tick at 227. And we got NVIDIA earnings this week. Can't hold NVIDIA down, man. Up by 2% right now. NVIDIA within almost $3 of the all-time highs. Let's take a look at the volume. Some decent volume off those lows. Last Wednesday was a big day. The market was falling apart, and NVIDIA rejected the lows. And you did it with volume. Now, you can't get above right now, but we're coming into the highs. And the earnings event's going to push it one way or the other, but it's trading nicely right now. On a weekly basis, NVIDIA last week, yeah, trades lower. Decent earnings. Running into the week of July 28th. All right, jump over to Intel. In focus, of course. Government's got a 10% stake on Intel. And yeah, dilutive shares, like 433 million shares. Just dilutes the ownership 10%. Intel, down by 0.8% today. Volatility to the upside last week. And some slight negative action this week as we do get the NASDAQ getting a positive print right now. Let's take a look. Take a look at the market watch. Take a look at the NASDAQ 100 right now. Yeah, Tesla up by 2.2%. You got Netflix up by 1.5%. Broadcom higher by almost a full percentage point, but NVIDIA hurt today. NVIDIA, 3% of the global market cap. That means, 3%, not of the U.S., not of the NYSE, 3% of the entire market capitalization of the entire globe. NVIDIA. Wow, that's what happens when you're pushing $4 trillion. We take a look at the volume in the S&P. I was talking about this on my morning program. S&Ps, you got a nice uptick in volume, okay? But not above where you were on Wednesday. But the NASDAQ 100, okay, keep your eye on that one, man. Because Friday's pop, you had selling on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the lightest day of them all. You catch a bid. And remember what's happened. We've had a little bit of a recoil in the dollar. I mean, even yields to a certain degree. Okay? Yields get an acceleration of 112.08. We're back to 111.31 right now. But this is not some coming to lower rates moment. Yeah, the pressure is on, man. Chairman Powell, bold statements, okay? But to a certain degree, the market had this priced in. As in right now, we got a yield of about 4.28, maybe 4.29 we're flirting with on the 10-year. We'll jump to the 2-year. But we were at 4.19, almost there on August 14th. We were right there on August 5th. We were right there on July 1st, 4.19. We were at 4.2 almost on 3 occasions in the last, 6 or 7 weeks? And we're not even there right now. With the recognition that Chairman Powell seemed like, they're ready to go. So right now you have about an 86% chance that they're going to cut in September, okay? And with that, the market looking at about when you go to December, 3 meetings from right now, 2 to 3 cuts, weighted towards 2. Something like a 50% chance there'll be at 2 cuts by then, 35% chance there'll be at 3 cuts by the end of the year, and the remaining 15% mostly on 1 cut. So 2 to 3 cuts is priced into this market right now, etching up a bit. But so where do rates go from there? And there's your 2-year. So yes, okay, you get a jump, you get higher price, the Fed is there. But in terms of translating, okay, and mortgages go off the 10-year, not the 2-year. And so all we are is back to where we were last Wednesday. So the market is not convinced just yet that inflation might not be a problem, or that the Fed can go on the cutting cycle that some may hope. But guess what? We're going to get to find out, and it's going to be a little bit of potential volatility. But the Fed, they're going to bring it no matter what happens in the short term. So the market's pricing in 2 to 3 cuts. I know we're talking fundamental versus charts right now, but it's interesting, the reaction that you're getting even right now in terms of the recoil, especially in the dollar. That is quite a reversal. The chairman, strong words, they're ready to cut, the dollar drops, and on Monday it's like, nah, we're going to take it all back to the upside. And gold holding up pretty well right now, 34.13 with that in mind. But you jump over that NASDAQ, we'll look for a little bit more volume to take out at least the prior few days. Can't even compete with that. S&P a little bit better. You jump over the Dow, decent volume on the Dow. Look at that, right? You break above all the recent highs. Dow does the most volume we've done since the lows of August 1st. Now on the flip side of it though, everything that happened on Friday is reversing, right? Dow was the strongest one on Friday. Well, Dow. Russell, extremely strong on Friday, right? Russell leading the way down with the Dow, both off 0.7% right now. S&P's off 13. Folks, stay tuned. We're coming back with our man Steve Rhodes. Don't go away. We'll be right back.